Okay, video 17. We're going to try the different microphone here to see if it'll work a little better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to manually, I'm going to try to just use hot air directly to get these parts to melt down. And it's kind of fun to watch. And I'm just using hot air set at 300 degrees C. So let me just start working, and you'll see the parts move around, and I may blow parts off the board, and we'll just fix it as we go. I'm going to start over here with the USB-C connector, and you can see the parts, the solder paste already moving around a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of move this a bit because we'll start seeing things melting shortly. The surface tension of liquid solder is really high, so it tends to pull the parts straight once we get it. You can see the diode D1 there. That's moving around a little bit. And there's C7, C8's going. There's the USB-C connector. And you can see that it's actually separating the solder gets sucked into the parts. R12 is just almost there. I think it's looking okay. But you also see all the parts straighten out. And that's really kind of fun. Last time I did this, I kind of melted the switch a bit. That might happen again. We'll see what happens. If it gets too bad, I'll replace it. But I think it'll be okay. And there's the memory chip. Let's go around to the other side a little bit. C1 is getting there. There's one side of the switch. Let me get that other side while it's still there. See, I'm melting part of the switch. Okay. D2 is kind of getting out of line here. We'll just kind of pop it back. Okay, now the processor itself, I do expect a couple of shorted pins on that. That's absolutely normal. And as it gets liquid here, I could touch it and I can move it around a little bit, and it tends to pop back to where it needs to be. And by pushing it down, I force the extra solder out from underneath it, and that kind of fixes everything. Now I can also go back and clean things up when I'm done. So that's good. That one's looking good. We're down to the crystal down here is about the only thing left. That's looking not too shabby. Okay. That should be good. Well, let's just stop with that. Now I want to clean up a couple of things. Now the board's still quite toasty, so let me cool that off just a little. And then we're going to come in with a soldering iron and fix up a couple of things that I want to touch. Okay. Now we got extra little bits and pieces of solder sticking out here. We got some shorts. Those are really easy to fix. And I'm going to add a little bit more flux because that always makes things go quite a bit smoother. There's not a lot of extra here. So I'm just going to just touch a little bit in here. The board's still quite warm to the touch. Okay. And so now in the flux, this actually goes really quite easy. I'm just drag that soldering iron tip, and you can see all those soldered double pin short out stuff just goes away. The board's almost too hot to touch yet, because the ceramic plate I'm sitting on is also got quite warmed up. And one more for this. Okay. And there's all these little extra solder balls in here. We can just touch these and they all go away. I think I mixed the wrong type of flux with my paste, so it's not quite as nice as sometimes. But it looks pretty good. That's all soldered. I don't see any shorts on the USB-C connector. Now, the other problem with the USB-C is the support pins that are on each side there. If we don't solder those down, we'll likely rip that thing off when we try to plug and unplug things. So I'm going to solder those down now because I know that it needs it. Let me grab the other side. I've got this diode up really close. That makes it a little bit harder to get to. Okay. Okay. That one looks pretty good. Let me go to this other camera. Let me go back to the document camera. Okay, so that's where we're at. In fact, I want to clamp this thing down a little easier to work with. It's always a little bit of a pain. So let me just put it in this thing. We should be okay. So let me take a couple of measurements with the ohm meters before I switch over and try to plug it in. And I'm just looking for ohms. And the negative side I'm going to put here, and then the positive one I want to check the regulator. It says 577. That's about what it should be. I mean, there's a couple of different parts that come in at different values. That one's 58, 59 kilo ohms to the one pin. This one should be dead short, which it is. Okay. So everything looks good. Let me go back to, let me pause it here and switch over so you can see me actually plug it in, and we'll see what happens.